executed perfectly. I wouldn't be surprised if there is an Earthshaker ban in the first phase from Will Never Give Up. How you give that hero up to Faith Beyond again would be beyond me.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the thing is as well, we talked about how Jinkyu can play it on the position 4 as well. So they have the ability to flex it between the two of them. And Jinkyu played a really good Shaker when we saw it before as well. So it would be interesting to see if RNG don't ban it, whether EHOME take it in the first phase or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like it's a hero that would get let through to the second phase if it wasn't banned in the first one, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the bans are going to be really interesting here from RNG because they've had this loss now and they have time to react, ready for the third draft.
Now, the question, as RNG get rid of the Visage and probably get rid of the Grimstroke too, that is the combo that EHOME have been playing. They have some pretty exciting combos. That Grimstroke Visage combo is dirty. I haven't seen anybody else try it yet, and I think that forces you, if you're EHOME's opponent, to be put in a situation where your first 4 bans might be used on both Grimstroke and Visage. 2 of them at least. And then that leaves EHOME with a lot of options because that's just one combo. Trian, when there's the Timber ban, I was going to also ask, where do we see the Timber ban as he continues to just be banned and never picked? So let's see.
Oh, right. My friend just messaged me on Steam and said, little tip, status resistance won't end up reducing static link for some reason. Which I always assumed it had. So I'll go and test it in a lobby after the game, just to confirm. I didn't know that.
So it doesn't lower the duration of... Does he mean the link itself or the duration of the minus damage?
Let me ask him.
Because that's what I thought you meant, was the duration that you've lost the damage.
No. The duration of the link itself stays the same. But I'm pretty sure it reduces the duration of the minus damage afterwards.
And they let this Earthshaker through. Ember, again there, potentially for Jinkyu or Nothing to Say. And that's what I thought you meant the entire time, was the duration of damage lost. And they go to the Lich, and it's a Lich Pango. So
again,
back to the Pangolier, which could be a Flywin Pango, but most likely a September one.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to be September. And my friend says it doesn't look like it does. I mean, I'd always just assumed it had. Well, I'm going to go and test so many things in lobby after this tournament's over. I feel like there's been quite a few things that I've been unsure about, which doesn't happen all the time. I need to get good is the answer to that. The thing is, with the Pangolier, though, like, it didn't work last game, but I don't think that should put them off. Like, RNG have looked really good with this hero in the past, so don't worry about losing one game with it too much. You should still feel confident. What do they want to play with the Ember, though? Like, what support do they feel like works well with it? And there's your answer. We get to see Keeper of the Light today, which is nice.
We're seeing Keeper of the Light now, and didn't we see the start of this tournament? It was banned a lot and starting to make its way through a lot more.
Well, no, it wasn't banned at all at the start of the tournament. It was just being ignored by some of the teams. But I think that the better teams were either banning it or picking it. Like the ones that have got through to the further in the tournament, I mean. But the only thing I would say, I feel like Nothing to Say is the Ember player right here in this stack for EHOME. I think he feels so confident on this hero. But Ember's one of those heroes where if you're confident on it, you don't really care about what matchup you get mid. I mean, I'm sure Sylar's capable of playing it. So when you play this Ember the Keeper of the Light duo, if it's Nothing to Say playing it mid, they're not going to have that Chakra Magic in the laning stage. And yeah, it's a super value next game.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin ends up...
I think
Probably for September. Have we seen a 3-position Nyx assassin in a long time?
No. If they do, I'll be, really surprised. I think Bristle looks like a super good pick here for EHOME, to be honest. Especially with like Monkey King and stuff being banned out as well. They might not pick it up straight away, but I'm pretty sure Faith Beyond's played that already once this tournament at least. If the Nyx is super good against Ember and the Kotl though, right? Because obviously the Carapace works on the Flame Guard, but also on the Blinding Light and the Illuminate. I forgot what it's called for a second. So they have good catch now for the Ember, right? And this hero that we've seen Kaka play it, and we've seen some other people play it, where you can get all this vision off the map, right, as well, which can be really useful for your core players to play off of and understand where they should be playing on the map.
Yeah.
Like you saw Jin-Q doing it on the Clinks last game as well, like blocking stacks and like picking up bounty runes and just checking where people were on the map all the time. And I think it's such it's a thing you see a lot more in the higher level of Dota. Like things like Beastmaster being picked up as well, obviously, like another good example with that Hawk having the vision advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking their time with this pick though on eHome.
Maybe could be thinking about swapping that Ember into the 4 position if it's going to be countered by the Nyx assassin in such a way.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But then again, when you have this like
that could be a Jin-Q as well. We've seen him, we've seen 4-position Ricky.
I think it's more likely to be core Ricky.
Yeah. But just, keeping the options open. I think you got to keep that in the back of your mind if you're willing to never give up.
For sure. And we've said before, we think eHome, or at least I do think eHome look a lot better when they have this flex pick at the start of the draft that they can play with Jin-Q as well. Like the Embers and the Clinkses and things between Nothing to Say and Jin-Q. I think it gives you such a massive drafting advantage early on. And they do seem to like pick around that relationship they have between the players very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see.
Let's see what Royal Never Give Up go to now with this 4th pick. Ooh, okay. So Death Prophet comes in. I like this. I think this also falls into that category of very important, like first exorcism and all that. Kind of like how the Ursa first Aegis is very important. Like, and I mean, I wanted a bloodbath. We're probably going to get a bloodbath because when Death Prophet's in the game, 6 minutes rolls around, and it's a 5v5 mid.
Yeah, you get the exorcism, you play off the catapult wave at the 5-minute mark, don't you? And everybody just ends up playing mid and fighting up against each other to make sure that tier 1 tower survives or gets taken, like either way. It's such a big moment in the game, like you say, for that hero with the first exorcism. I wonder what they want to play up against it, though, because they don't have great ways of dealing with the DP at the moment, especially when she gets BKB. It's just going to be a massive problem for them right now.
That could be a Jin-Q hero, too.
I could, yeah.
The fact that 3 of these 4 heroes right now could be a Jin-Q hero because... was it you who... No, it was Neff. Neff hated it. FY Sniper. We saw it early in this tournament, and it was amazing. Like, actually, so value. And I love the Ags. I love Sniper being a 4 position. I hope he just becomes a 4 position all the time so I never have to deal with him as a core ever again.
I still think they're going to want to lane the Sniper up against the DP, though. I think it feels like it's probably a really good matchup. Like, you can get the range advantage later on, right? So she feels forced to build Blink on the DP. But also, if you look at RNG's lineup, they don't have a hero with good gap close apart from the Pango, right? So, like, to get on top of the Sniper in a fight is going to be really difficult for them. But yeah, it could still be position 4 as well. The thing I do like about it as well is that we talked about this 5-6 minute mark being really important. When Sniper puts shrapnel down, it's going to be so difficult to push into. Like, you kind of put something on down and you're like, okay, good luck. Deal with it. And they have the Carapace to be able to stun the Sniper from afar with when he puts the shrapnel down, which is kind of nice for RNG. But I think this Sniper pick overall feels really good. Whether it's a 4 or a 2. So you're probably assuming it's going to be Faithbeyond's hero they want to pick last here, right?
And I was going to say, is Earthshaker still a viable pick for them?
I think they need something that's a little bit less cooldown based. Yeah, okay, they go for the Clockwork. And we've seen some sick Clockwork performances this tournament so far. It has a really high win rate from what I can remember. I think it was like 5 out of 6 games it's won. It's like I think it's 83%, 5 out of 6.
It is 83%, 5 out of 6.
Oh,
You've been nailing it on the prices right now.
I'll
tell you that much.
I'm a math tutor, so if there's one thing I can do right, I'd hope that would be it.
Ooh.
I don't know. This Void pick makes sense for the way they want to play the game, right? Because they have Void TP, so it's all about taking good team fights for them. But it's a little bit cooldown heavy, right, between the Exorcism and the Chrono. I'm a little bit worried for them, but it's a really good hero against all the heroes that EHOME have, especially their cores. Like, they need a hero that can get onto the Riki and bring him down, but they need a hero that can get onto the Sniper as well. I'm a little bit worried that if they fall behind, though, on RNG, they're going to get absolutely run over. Mm-hmm. But if they can have like a decent start to the game and they take some good early objectives, trying to build their way up slowly, it should be okay. But like, if you look at EHOME's lineup, there's no cooldowns. Apart from like Will-O-Wisp, I guess. Like, Faithbeyond's going to be running around the map constantly trying to pick people off. And especially if he gets on top of the DP early with like a Vessel or something, she's going to die pretty much every single time until she gets a BKB or a Yules online to purge that off. So I think I prefer EHOME's lineup overall. Mm-hmm. But you can kind of also see how RNG would win, right? Like, especially if they get good executions off in their fights like they did in Game 1. They've got Rolling Thunder, they've got Exorcism, and they've got Chronosphere. So they have the team fight advantage. So it's like team fight versus pick-off. Who's going to play the game that they want, and which team is going to play into that almost.
I will say the last time I saw Kato against the Void, and I think it was in this tournament, every time the Void laid down a Chronosphere, immediately there was a Will-O-Wisp. And it's put in such a way where it just screws up the Void's fight so much. And I feel like that could be, in a way, a bit of a counter. It has to go perfect. Also, Kato has to not be in the Chronosphere. Also, Kato has to be alive.
I love how they're just all chatting each other, by the way. I'd love to know what this is.
Yeah, we'll find out from chat in 5 minutes. Chat, please hook us up with the translation. Appreciate it, so you can hear us talk about it in 10 minutes' time.
But also, do fake translations as well, so we have to try and work out which one's true and which one's not. It's like two lies, one truth kind of thing. I like that point about the Will-O-Wisp, but it kind of only really applies to the first couple of 2 or 3 chronos, right? Maybe a little bit more. Because afterwards, the Void's going to get a BKB this game. I don't think he has a choice. Like, he's playing up against Chains, like you say, the Will-O-Wisp. And the other thing I worry about is that they don't have a huge amount of damage to put into the Chrono. It's kind of like the Exorcism and then the Chain Frost from Lich, right? So sometimes we see some games where they have, like, I don't know, ODs or something that can right-click people down during the Chrono as well. DP doesn't really do that. It's a little bit different, right?
Begins.
So I think there's a lot of pressure on Monet this game for RNG to have a good game. But Sylar Riki, do you remember last time we saw this? Like, he had real trouble like getting in and out of the fights. It felt like he was unsure when to commit. So hopefully we see a better performance from him this time, because he did play really well last game on that Razor.
Excited to see Nothing to Say. What he can do with this sniper. Last time I saw it was in a 4 position, so I'm excited to see it in the core role again, even though I hate playing against core sniper in my own pub games. Nothing.
Be ensnared in fire. No, sorry, I was just looking at something. I was looking at the mid lane for a sec.
Yeah, so was I. I was just going to talk about how Faithbeyond gets a kill here onto Super, and that's that early aggression that we were expecting. As going back to Ember on Jinkyu on Ember, we've seen a couple of times where he's the one who gives up first blood. I think it was like 3 games in a row where we saw him just give up first blood in this 4 position, and a couple of those were him as Ember. And
That was very funny.
now he's able to supply the first blood for Faith Beyond, and I like this combination. The run it, you battery assault, searing chains, where do I go? Kind of like you're overwhelmed. You're dead if you're the support and you get caught out.
It's interesting as well because he usually goes all with Venom, I'm pretty sure, on this position for Ember. Most of the time he plays it. But he actually went for the Blightstone first instead, which, you know, if you're talking about... Oh, he's level 2 now, by the way. Super might be in trouble here. Oh, Faith Beyond didn't want to come through. He wanted to hit the creep instead. The crepe.
Sylar doing up top. He's 6-1. But 13-14-0 for Monet. Can they even kill him? Maybe if they catch him with Time Walk on cooldown, but...
They can't really kill him at the start of the game. Maybe not until like they get more points in chains. But like he can always just get out of the cogs, right? So unless he uses Time Walk really aggressively in the lane and they manage to turn it around on EHOME, I don't really see how they're going to be able to ever kill him here.
Sniper about to hit this level 4. Death Prophet close as well.
Sylar, top lane pulls the creep wave. The lane is now in the jungle, guys. This is the new meta.
This is actually where the lane used to be back before construction happened. Well, fun fact there for you guys.
The bypass through the jungle. Nice.
I think September was just looking to secure that range creep. I don't think he was looking to stun anybody, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just... I'm unsure about this Nyx Pango lane, though. It's not a great a lane duo, like on paper. They don't really pressure Sylar much at all. This Void CS, by the way, we should probably point out that some of them might be cogs. I don't think they, like, many of them will be, because he just has much better base damage than the Clockwork, right? So it's easy for him to last hit, but, you know, we have to be wary that there could be a few thrown in there.
Well, he doesn't have any cogs yet.
Oh, he doesn't have cogs yet. Oh my god. So he does actually just have 22 last hits. He's owning. I take it all back, Monet. Sorry.
Battery Assault, super down here. Trying to help get this kill. And one of the things I do like about Jinkyu being away from the lane, and I understand that, you know, puts Faith Beyond in a little bit of trouble. Getting a quick 6 on this Clockwork can result in a lot of snowball here for EHOME.
Yeah, especially on these really immobile heroes like we talked about, like the DP or the Lich. Yeah, even Nyx early on, even though he has Carapace, it doesn't really matter.
Sleight of Fist and the Searing Chains. He used Time Walk already. It's on cooldown for another 13 seconds, and they will kill Monet. Wow.
And Super might be in trouble. There's a massive wave.
Yeah, and he is...
He has cogs. Battery shot in one.
Getting into the trees. Battery Assault catches him, and now they've got him around this little pathway. So Faith Beyond will get another kill in this lane. Monet makes the rotation. Time Walks... they don't have Battery Assault, but try a body block. Fantastic. EHOME, man. Especially Faith Beyond. Sometimes... I will say this is probably the best we've seen Faith Beyond, like the best form we've seen him in a long time. But I mean, he's playing out of his gourd the last 2 games.
I will say though that play by the Lich is like, it's bad, but it's not awful because he stopped the creep wave from being hit by the tower when they were diving him there. So like, it means when Mono comes back to lane, he doesn't miss quite as much XP. So like, it's not great by the Lich, but it's like. It's not an awful death, but it's like a level down from that, if that makes sense.
I love this combination of just running at Monet, wanting him to Time Walk, and then having the sight Searing Chains. Okay, Monet's just gonna bash on every swing. Jesus, 2 straight bashes right there.
I'm waiting. I don't know if Bash has a limit on how many there are, by the way, but I can't wait for the clip one day where somebody takes Bash at level 1 and hits somebody and it gets like 6 hits off.
September, like mid. Nothing to say, gets the kill there onto the Nyx Assassin. They'll pull in Jinkyu with the Sinister Gaze. He doesn't have Slight or Searing Chains to work with, but now some damage on Asetsu. he'll be.
I will say Jinkyu feels like he's everywhere at the moment. He's doing a pretty good job.
And that's what we see from him quite a lot.
Nothing to say denies the Sentry Ward.
Dire's bottom tower
Good stuff.
is under attack.
Is he going to refill the DP's bottle here, mid? Oh, Setsu. I think it's too late, right? Yeah. He gets the CS, but he misses out on 3 charges of a bottle. Yeah, so he's going to have to run all the way back to base now. Feels pretty bad for Setsu.
So that leaves nothing to say here farming. Sitting level 7. Where's Jinkyu at? He's bottom. And Faith Beyond's level 6. So does he stay in this lane or does he just try to get something out of this? He might even just get super. Oh my god, super trying to play around this range.
DP's coming bot lane though.
Third bottom. And he still has the hook shot to even just leave this fight. And there it is.
Easy peasy. It does mean that hookshot's going to be on cooldown now for a little bit.
Yeah, the level 1 is the longest it's going to be, of course. It's a full minute, not terribly long, all things considered, but it definitely feels pretty bad because we see Faith Beyond always wanting to play aggressive on this clockwork, and I think he really does work with using that first hookshot and getting a kill.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but I guess if you're dead, then you can't use it anyway, can you? So
no, you can't.
I don't know, this game's still... I think this game's going really well for both the position ones, though. Like, Sylar and Monet are both having a really good time. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes the first move when. Because this Riki hero comes online sooner, right? Like, when you get the Diffuser Blade, you can just run at the Void. And the Void doesn't... The Void wants to take a little bit more time to farm up. Like, he's going to go for this Marcus of Madness, but he really needs the BKB before he can fight into the Riki, really.
Spike gets used by September, he'll land the stun, but even then... he thought about it.
He just lost... I think he lost the vision on the Nyx because it's nighttime. So he couldn't complete it. Worth pointing out as well, if you get disarmed on the Riki, you use Tricks of Trade, you can still hit people and do damage. They're going to go mid here, though.
And mid might be in trouble because of the fact that they've got so many numbers coming through. And there's great hook shot. Sylar's under the tower. No Rolling Thunder just yet, but the Chronosphere now on a nothing to say. That's massive because they kill off the sniper and the rest of the fight starts to turn around. Rolling Thunder finally comes in with the Impale. They'll get the kill on both Faith Beyond and Nothing to Say. And EHOME maybe get a little bit ahead of themselves.
Sylar, though.
But Sylar is trying to clean up. Tricks of the Trade takes out Flywind. Jinkyu, not much he can do with everything on cooldown. He did have 10 charges in the wand, but now you've given up a triple kill to Monet.
Monet's going to be so happy with that, though. But that goes to what we were talking to, right? Like, they have really good pick-off potential on the Dire side, but if everybody turns up and they use their spells, RNG have the teamfight advantage.
The thing about that, though, is now Chronosphere is on cooldown. Rolling Thunder is not really a big cooldown to be worried about or anything like that. But I think go again on that fight and EHOME take the advantage because of the fact that Chrono is now on cooldown. They can play around that big cooldown really well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Sylar's probably going to try and carry on playing aggressive. Who was the Riki player that we saw do this before? It might have been Sylar, where he just got involved with loads of fights really early on. I can't quite remember, but... They just... The problem is, like, they want to fight again because of the cooldowns, but Sniper needs some time to come online here.
Yeah.
This hero doesn't do well unless he has a decent amount of farm, and he's going to take this stack here, and he's got Necrobook coming out as well, so...
Wow.
His farm speed is going to increase quickly now.
And then straight into the Ags. Love it.
Oh, is it? Oh, he is. Okay. I haven't seen mid-snipers do this yet. Even in pubs, it's been like position 4s every single time.
It really is so good. You know, you get the cooldown reduction, you're throwing the Assassinate out. It just... The stun duration being a second and a half is gross.
Never refuse.
Like, you just assassinate immediately. And like, I don't know, you could stay so far back and disrupt fights so well. Like, if he doesn't get caught in the Chronosphere and he's just shooting from a distance, you know he's going to use the Assassinate on the Faceless Void every single time. And mess up that fight.
It doesn't go through BKB though, right? So as long as Void gets a BKB at some point in the game. Yeah, he's going to go for its second item, which I think is really important here for RNG. Like, they need this BKB in the Chrono so he can actually get his damage off. So yeah, good choice by Monet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
6-4 in favor of EHOME with a little bit over, or a little bit under 1,000 gold net worth lead. Jesus, that sentence does not come out easy. But you know, EHOME doing a pretty good job. I say that though. EHOME, Jin-Q, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. They're trying to get on to nothing to say. But Sylar is here, so September goes. Oh, sons of both of them.
Big pick off.
We'll see if this matters much. The Rolling Thunder misses. They've got the Spike Carapace because of the shrapnel laid down. And now the Will-O-Wisp! Monet in so much trouble. They got nothing to say, but they lose Monet in September. There's the remnant forward from Jin-Q. Tricks of the trade right on Super and Setsu. Setsu trying to get Faith Beyond and Will.
Another chain
now he's chased. He's silenced. He's chained. He's killed. Goodbye, Setsu. Sylar with the double kill. They do lose their mid in 3, but they take out 4. And that was a very good fight due to the fact that they were able to get around this void. And I think he had Chronosphere available, right? In that fight.
Yeah, he did, but he couldn't get it off. Faith Beyond did a really good job of just like jumping in and hook-shotting him straight away, just as he was, you know, about to try and get that Chrono off. And it just disrupted the fight completely. That would have been so much better for RNG if they'd have managed to kill the sniper with the first Rolling Thunder usage. I think if they get that off, the fight's completely different, but really well played by Nothing to Say to avoid that. And it just, you know, delays the fight long enough so that when the Clockwork comes in, he has this massive impact.
I will say, too, one of the things that I really like from that fight was the fact that Innocence, and I don't know if you guys are looking at mid right now or to picture it in your minds, the Will-O-Wisp was out here to the left of the tower, and it just had Void on the edge. It allowed the Will-O-Wisp to go off the entire time because everybody was on the opposite side of that fight. So that pulls in the Void continually. Then they get the hook shot in. There's not really much the Void can do in that engagement.
And if you look at Innocence's net worth, he almost has a mech on this Keeper of the Light.
He's massive.
Like, this guy's... Because he's been getting so much farm priority from just pushing out lanes, because he's taking this dead lane all the time, right? Where he's just, you know, shoving it out with Illuminate, just getting whatever he can. When this mech comes online, it's going to be such a massive game changer for them. You know, we talk about it might be difficult to take these early engagements into Chrono and Exorcism. If they get the mech online, they have the sustain to be able to try and go through that, you know. There is a sentry down here
so far
with the Observer Ward, so I think they saw that Nyx coming towards the top lane.
Has the Diffusal, looking for the double Illuminate to clean up the wave. It will hit September, who's going to spike Carapace, but now... I mean, he's got the mech, so...
That just means they know where he is now, though, on the Nyx. Like... It feels good on the Nyx to do that. Like, you're going to break on the wave anyway, but they're like, oh, okay, guys, Nyx is top. You don't have to worry bot anymore. This is fine. And Sylar has his Diffusal Blade now. This is a really big timing for the EHOME side, I think.
Nothing to Say needs to be careful. Monet is nearby. He's the only one you really want outside of that Chronosphere.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Definitively. Probably would have liked Sylar out of it as well.
What does Keeper of the Light put in his skill point at 9? He's
Silence. Oh, he was looking for the Chrono. Great job by Faith Beyond to get the cogs down. That disrupts Monet again, and he's unable to get the Chronosphere out.
Yeah, and then both teams brought 5 heroes down here for that, so... RNG, you got to be a little bit worried now you don't have Rolling Thunder, because EHOME are probably going to be looking to go again here, especially with the hook shot and the Clockwork. They do see him under the Observer Ward that EHOME have down. Sorry, that RNG have down. I think EHOME say, like, Nothing to Say is probably saying, like, we need to get this guy first, right? Like, we need to kill the DP. If we kill the DP, the fights are going to be a lot easier for us, because it takes away so much of their damage. They have this catapult wave bot now on the EHOME side, so they're probably going to try to take this tier 1.
Oh, they're going to wait for him to swashbuckle, look for the hook shot afterwards, but he misses it. Jin-Q, meanwhile, dead to Monet, but they drop down the Will-O-Wisp for this Pangolier. They will throw him in the smoke screen, get the kill. So He used Chrono on Jinkyu.
Yeah, and they used Chain Frost as well. Like there was both of the ults to be able to kill him off.
That's a lot.
But they are trading. It means they get to trade towers, which is because the thing is, if they don't kill Jinkyu top, then it means they're not going to be able to kill the top tier 1. So it's like we're using Chrono to kill somebody, but also be able to like make sure we don't fall behind in terms of towers, right? So it's not too bad.
But that doesn't feel like it's value. Like you say, it's not too bad. But Jinkyu's up. He's got his remnants ready to go. Hookshot's up in 17 seconds. Yes, Will-O-Wisp is on cooldown, but I'm not certain that they need that to get kills on this EHOME
You
side.
get a kill and you get the tower, which brings you like just over 1,000 gold across your whole team. That's pretty, you know, just over 1,000 gold for a Chrono usage isn't too bad. If you thought about that in hero kills, it would be fine, right?
Yeah. Okay. Grouping up over mid. We're going to get a tier 1 in this lane. Spike Carapace. That'll stun up Nothing to Say. Nothing to Say who feels very comfortable right now because of the fact that there is no Chronosphere, but the Assassinate through onto the Pangolier.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just without that Axe for the moment. Sylar spots the Nyx. And now they've got the Searing Chain, so he's continually silenced and dead.
You were not the object.
Big pick off. I was wondering whether Sylar might go for a BKB second. Or like if he goes Battle Fury to help him farm, or if he goes Manta to help take off like the silence from the DP and things. And he has the Yasha queued up, so I'm assuming he's going to finish off Manta rather than go like SMY. But he seems to have had a thing for SMY this series. So I'm not 100% confident. Because he got it on the Ursa in Game 1, and I'm pretty sure he got it on the Razor in Game 2 as well, right?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I believe so, yeah.
So maybe he
He switches off of it. Battle Fury now.
Okay, I think that's a better choice. I think they should feel confident going into the late game with this Riki sniper. But it also just helps them push waves out all the time, like helps them farm quicker. And they're going to try and Carapace here top lane on the Jinkyu.
Yeah, they've got the kill. Spike Carapace, Impale, a couple of bashes. You'll clean up just about anybody.
And it's so difficult for Jinkyu to do this, by the way, the way he does up in the like. But normally when you're playing Emmy, you just pop Flame Guard in and push waves, right? But when you're playing against Nyx Assassin, you have to be a lot more careful in terms of where you are with your positioning and just shoving out waves all the time. Because if the Nyx is there and there's follow up, the Carapace is what's the stun duration? 2.4 seconds, and stun duration on Impale is 2.6. So if you chain them up properly, that's 5 seconds of lockdown to get damage off. Which RNG definitely do have enough of to be able to bring him down.
So Axe finish here for the sniper. If you show up, you're going to get stunned. And with the 1.5 second stun, I think it really does help Sylar maybe even get the jump on you, throw down the smoke screen with Tricks of the Trade. It's a combination that can be very deadly from such a range.
Yeah, and if they don't know that he has Axe as well, it could be a big shock to them. I think if they know, at least they can be prepared, right? But
have we seen
a lot of
Exorcism
damage
in this game?
Say that again, sorry?
Have we seen Exorcism in this game? No, well, of course he uses it now, but the Will-O-Wisp is there. The BKB's been popped by Setsu. They look over for Faith Beyond, who gets juggled by this Rolling Thunder. However, with the Spirit Siphon, they'll have the damage to get the kill, and now it's just up to EHOME to disengage.
Yeah, so they use Exorcism, and then that's a 10-second BKB usage on Setsu, but they only get the clock for it. And this is something we talked about with other DP games before. I can't remember who it was, but when you play this DP and you take fights on your own side of the map, you can't transition the Exorcism from kills into objectives. So for EHOME, the goal for them is going to be if we constantly play on the Radiant side, if they're using Chrono and Exorcism there, it means they can't push our buildings quite as well as they could, potentially otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Precious bounty.
So, not only do they use Exorcism, but I think the BKB is another big one.
Ooh. Chrono catches Nothing to Say.
Massive
They don't have a Will-O-Wisp, so it is looking very bad for this sniper. That is such an aggressive play from One. Wow.
But he understands how aggressive he can be because he has this BKB now, right? Like, they have this teamfight advantage, but they also are so much stronger because they have BKBs, and the Dire side don't at the moment. I am a little bit worried for hang on, they're going on the DP. You might have to pop BKB here.
Is still in trouble though. The Ricky's here, the cogs are out, and you need to back off. just surviving, but now
Here comes the Rolling
Thunder. That'll come in, and it'll disrupt the Dire. The question is, will it get them any kills? They look to get Jinkyu. They'll find him. They've silenced him. They kill him. And now, Sylar, Blink Strike back. Monet coming in. Great cogs from Faith Beyond. And
can they turn around?
Sniper's here, so they can fight this. Illuminate comes through. Smoke screen out. They've got the silence onto the Faceless Void. They're trying to get the kill. Do they have anything else to throw from RNG? As they lose September, they look over as Super, he's dead too. Remnant forward, just trying to catch up to Monet and maybe get some vision. Sleight of Fist misses.
It wasn't just the sleight though, he had chains there as well that, you know, he committed for. If that had hit the Void, I think they would have managed to kill him off as well. That was a really well played by EHOME though. They sit on the high ground and you could see the realization. I think it was Jinkyu that made the call. He's like, guys, I've got buyback and there's a Remnant down. So, you know, can we turn here? And they just made the call. And so not only do they get the 2 kills there, but they're also going to get the top tier 1 as well. So, you know, completely worth it for the buyback on Jinkyu. They'll be happy with that one. And Sylar's almost got his Battle Fury as well.
He's almost got this Battle Fury. He is, got it. Has the golds.
A point I was going to make before I got rudely interrupted by a team fight, by the way.
My bad.
I'm a little bit worried for the Dire side because this sniper's gone Axe and he's got this Necro Book and stuff. I'm not sure where their damage is coming from if it isn't Ricky though, right? Like, they don't have a huge amount of physical damage in general. So when these BKBs get popped on RNG side, they really have to just kite them out because they can't fight into the BKB durations at all, which is why I think, you know, getting these early BKB usages out of the Death Prophet is such an important thing. Like, she used the 9-second one top when she got hook-shotted as well. You know, so she's just bought the BKB and it's already down to 8 seconds, which, you know, you have to on Setsu there to survive, but it doesn't feel good.
Well, on top of what you're saying, he's also getting a Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I really agree with that.
If nothing to say's confident in his ability, which I'm pretty sure he is, he's ranked 1 MMR in China. I think you don't get there unless you're confident in yourself and your abilities. Yeah. Then, you know, he can, as long as they have sentries down to see the nicks and stuff especially, if he's quick on his fingers, they can't really catch him. It's like Void jumps in, but there's a delay between the jump ending and the chrono hitting. So if he's quick with his fingers, he can escape. You know, the question is, if Nyx is running on top of you and they get the impale and stuff, you know, they are just going to follow up and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about keeping your distance on nothing to say. And this blink is going to help him do that. It's just, is he going to be able to get the blink off? You know, big question mark. But a lot of items feel pretty rubbish if you can't use them.
Dire are scanning.
Just has to be confident in himself to be able to.
What has Innocence got since that mech? He's got a 4-staff. He is so farmed on this Connell.
Yeah.
A lot of their net worth lead is in the supports, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like, what, 2.4k on the Nyx and then 2k on the Ember.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of the cores, if you look at the top, are just very neck and neck. Like Ricky to Void, even Sniper to DP, and definitely the POS 3s as well, and the Clock to the Pango.
Death and gold are linked.
So they smoke on EHOME. They're looking to find somebody. As Innocent smoke
they found
breaks.
2.
He's
Really
got
good,
the vision
really
down.
good ward.
Could just get a Will-O-Wisp in there, but they don't commit.
I think they were just out of touching distance. Like the Keeper of the Light was slightly too far in front, and they were a little bit worried about more people being on the high ground. Yeah, Super instantly gets the D ward. Do they have a gem? No, they don't. They just put a sentry there.
Ready.
Yeah, there was already one there. Here. Right, okay. And they're going to smoke up now because they know they've dewarded this vision here. So it's safe to do so. And with all their spells being up, pretty good time for RNG here. They find Innocence.
Good 4-staff. But Rolling Thunder, this is a big commitment for Innocence if they can even get him. They should knock him up and finish him off. With the Impale missing, though, now that's in question. Will-O-Wisp comes in, and that'll only lock up September, so that kind of gives Monet free reign on this. The hook shot out from Faith Beyond. They get the kill into September. Monet pops the BKB, gets the Chronosphere down onto the Ricky, and they have the damage to kill him off as the Exorcism was running that entire time. So Sylar ends up dead. They will find Flywind. It's a 2-for-1 so far. A bit sloppy from both teams. I would say EHOME, maybe the Will-O-Wisp a bit ambitious, or maybe just a bit rushed in placement.
I think it was fine though, because if they can manage to kill the Nyx at the start of the fight with the Will-O-Wisp, then it's all right, which they do. I just worry again for EHOME, for RNG. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up. But they use their ults there, but they can't transition it into objectives. Like, you can't just win fights. You have to take towers as well, right? Or like go into Roche, whatever. And yeah, and they're a little bit worried that EHOME themselves are going into the Roche pit.
Mid Ags. Oh, Monet in trouble. Hook shot and the kill. Oh my God, Faith Beyond dangles.
They might get super here as
And
well.
look at the Force Staffs, Remnant forward, Jin Q, all over the map. The Assassinate for the 1.5 seconds, stun with the Spirit Vessel on him, and the Illuminate coming through. It's another one for Jin Q. God, man, Jin Q. Feel yourself, man.
Right, I'm gonna
Feel
look
yourself.
at what that means.
And Faith Beyond.
I'm looking at what that means. Hang on.
I hope it means get baited.
It means,
So now that leads to Roche.
Google Translate says it means passive god, which I don't know how we can interpret that. That's.
I don't know what that means.
I'd like to think, in my mind, I'd like him to be like, oh, nice passive time walk. Cool. But I mean, I have no idea. It's so difficult to translate, like, on Google Translate from Chinese to
Google
English.
does such a horrible job at it.
Yeah, I mean, Chinese is such a completely different language, though, right? And I don't think I don't really comprehend fully how difficult it is to change from one to the other.
I still have the Rosetta Stone on my computer. I'm too afraid to open it. There was a point last year where I was like, you know what? I cast so many Chinese games. I'm going to try and learn the language.
Have you seen?
And it scares me.
It is very difficult. I started trying to pick up little bits early on a website, and I was like, I can't do this. This is so hard. I'm bad enough at learning European languages, never mind ones with a completely different alphabet. Have you seen what Keeper of the Light's building, by the way? Innocence on this. He's going for an E-Blade.
Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah, he is going for an E-Blade. You see that kill up top? It's just the Assassinate 2-shot from Sylar and the Peace.
But yeah, this E-Blade's a really good choice because you saw the... Oh, hang on. Hook shot on the
Hook
Nyx.
shot. Look at that. Faith Beyond. He really is just disgustingly good. He goes into a hook shot and then cogs Nyx down, or no. He cogs Nyx down to the low ground, hook shot forward, has the battery assault, and just lines it up.
I don't even think he cogged it. I think he tried to trap him, but Nyx force-staffed himself away. But yeah, Fabian just followed up with a hook shot. Yeah, I want to go back to the other point. The E-Blade's going to be so good on Keeper of the Light this game because you saw the problem they had in that fight mid before was Ricky got destroyed really quickly in the chrono duration, right? And they have no save on the Dire side at all. So if that happens, there's no play they can make on EHOME until this E-Blade comes out. And then whoever gets chronoed, what do the Radiant side do when they get E-Bladed? Like, it's all physical damage from the Void and the DP. So I think this E-Blade, I imagine it's going to take Mono by surprise massively the first time it gets used when it comes out. And Innocence is farming really well, so it's probably going to be like another, 7 or 8 minutes or so, I would imagine. But when it does, the game impact it could have is going to be massive.
I mean, not only that, but the level difference between the supports is massive. Innocence is level 17. He's got the extra flickers on the Will-O-Wisp. Like, he is doing disgustingly well.
Shinky
Yeah, the
might be
silence
a
under
little bit in
Jinky,
trouble
but they
there.
don't catch him, and he Remnant's away.
There's the Carapace up on the Nyx. It's close.
Radiant's middle tower is under
So
attack.
Boots of Travel for the Sniper. He was building into this Kaya Yasha originally, and then goes back for Boots of Travel.
Yeah, I don't mind the BOTs. I think that's fine. It allows them to play like a lot more mobile and aggressive on the map, right?
See what Nothing to Say can get done here in terms of farm. Oh man, hype up this E-Blade and Kato swaps to the Aeon disc.
Oh, what? I would have really liked to have seen this E-Blade. I think it sounds really good.
I'm so disappointed. Does he think he's not going to get the gold? Like, oh, whose TP just got stopped like that?
Maybe he's like, well, I'm not going to get E-Blade off if I die myself. So what's the point? I got to save myself first. Because you have to think, like, if you're RNG at the moment, the Keeper of the Light has to be the one that you need to kill first every single fight. He's target number 1. And Innocence has a gem as well, by the way. Like, they're slowly going to start to take over this map on EHOME.
Oh, God.
Dire's top
The
tower
Assassinate
is under
into the
attack.
Blink Strike is such a dirty combination. By the way, chat is confirming that it was just Passive God.
Ah. Maybe they just Google Translate it as well, though.
That's true. No.
I'd love to know how many people we have in Twitch chat that can, like, be able to translate between the two. I feel like that's a really useful skill to have. Because, you know, we don't really have too many people who can do that in the...
I do wish we had Jack on call.
Yeah. It feels so good as an English watcher to Chinese streams when at the big events the Chinese teams have a player that can speak English, and like you get to feel their emotions with how they react to things about the games. Because you know it's one thing having a translator, but they don't convey the emotions the same way that the players could.
Yeah. It's something
that's-
you see in the UFC a lot. A lot of the Brazilian fighters have a translator, but they speak pretty good English. I think just in the moment they want an easier conversation on themselves. Something
Obviously,
they understand a little bit better.
Obviously, I would never expect the Chinese players to speak English. I mean, I can't speak Chinese, like Mandarin, whatever it is. So, you know, why would I expect them to speak English? But it feels so good when they do,
Radiant's bottom tower
as
is
a
under
viewer
attack.
at least. Jinkyu is going for the Ags, by the way, next on the Ember, and he has Orb of Destruction as well as the Blightstone. So the amount of minus armor coming through from him is going to be huge. It means that the Ricky can take the Aquila as well, or keep that one, doesn't have to take the Orb himself.
I want to say the Ember is transitioning into a 4th core, but their supports are so farmed, I feel like they have 5 cores right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know that's a stupid thing to say, but you know what I mean, guys. Come on, chat. Relax. And that Kaya's there. So the mana cost, mana loss reduction, and the spell amplification is up for the sniper. Multiple mana regen items on a sniper. Who would have thunk? Granted, it's the Necro because he can use that in conjunction with the cooldown reduction, get that farm. And then he's got the Kaya.
I think this Yashikai is going to be interesting.
Ooh,
He has
Innocence. Oh, force the will wisp. I think that's big. And BKB jump from
Oh my
Setsu, but the hook shot comes in and the cogs are there. They want to save this Kato so badly, and they do for now. But into the silence, BKB, Monet moving forward. He's looking for somebody to maybe Chronosphere, but they've all split up so well. And the BKB duration is gone.
There's no BKBs,
so Monet
yeah.
needs to run. Assassinate comes in, double shot with the Blink Strike. They'll get the kill on a super. They look over at the rest. Monet just lays down
Where's
the
the
Chronosphere, but he
E-Blade?
he does not have his BKB, so the Assassinate rolls in, and they will get the stun, but Sylar is still dead with the Rolling Thunder coming through.
Monet.
Monet time walks out. Exorcism raging on. Rolling Thunder is about to end. Jinkyu moving forward avoids the swashbuckle. They get the kill on a Sylar. They only take out the Lich. That's a fight going the way of RNG.
Yeah, for sure, but again, I'm going to make the same point I did before. You win fights, but you're not taking objectives. This tier 1 mid is at almost 100% HP for the Dire side. Like, we're 36 minutes into the game. At what point is this tier 1 mid going to fall? Like, it feels like RNG have to win a fight convincingly, right? To be able to take buildings. Yeah, and Roshan minimum spawn time's just hit, by the way. So it's going to be a long one. It's 2 minutes, 40 seconds, actually. But yeah, when Sylar gets this BKB... Oh, he's actually not going BKB. He's gone for Ags instead.
Pocket Ricky, man.
I'm surprised he didn't try and tank up with effective HP and go for a butterfly instead up against this Void. Because Void doesn't have like MKB or anything, right? But goes for the Axe instead, which I don't think is awful. It means he can just jump inside the clockwork when he hookshocks in and try to blow somebody up really quickly. And it's like a pseudo escape as well, I guess.
Hook shot all the way through. Faith Beyond. Swashbuckle out of it.
Homing in.
Dire's top
It's such
tower
a-
is under attack.
I don't think passive game's the right word, but we have long stretches where nothing happens, right? Where RNG are like just waiting for their big cooldowns to come up again, like 50 seconds for Chronos still. And in the meantime, EHOME are just getting more off the map all the time. Because RNG are so scared to split up when they don't have their ults up. Because they're so susceptible to getting picked off. I think there's Faithian has just picked up a Lotus Orb on the clockwork as well. He's really tanky.
Did he buy it on the AN disc? He's actually still holding so much gold. Come on, Innocence. You know you want to. Just finish the E-Blade off. He's got AN disc and Hex, but come on.
I'm kind of thinking he might still go back for it. The Hex is really good this game, though, against the DP and the Void. Because they don't have great lockdown on their lineup. It's kind of only really the Sniper Axe.
Hook shot. And Monet time walks forward. He's got Chrono in 5, so the timing might actually work out here for RNG. But EHOME looking to disengage or, well, just keep. Oh my god!
Keeper of the Light Ember, guys. What a combo.
Dire are scanning.
Havoc Hammer. Who takes that? They give it
Oh, he
to the
goes back to
Panda.
it!
Okay.
Oh, Innocence.
Has he got it?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm surprised he queued up other things. I think this E-Blade's going to be really good. If they can keep the Ricky live during the Chrono duration, he's going to go crazy when he comes out. Like, the problem Silas had is that the Chrono is the only thing that's killing him off, right? Smoke broke.
Faith Beyond almost wants them to run at him.
Yeah, he's the big frontliner. I think he should push build raw HP next as well. Like, even if he just goes for a heart or something, right? Like, he has a lot of effective HP because of the hood and the armor. But he gets some Blade Mailer Lotus.
Assassinate bounced back on nothing to say. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage, but the Will-O-Wisp is down on the
BKB.
heroes. They look over at Monet. The BKB's been popped. So now, Assassinate comes in once again. They're getting the kill on a fly win. The Chain Frost bouncing, but it's not going to be enough. Triple kill for Jinkyu. All of a sudden, he's looking for more. Monet on the run. He goes by the creeps. The Spider Fist does land. They've got the Rocket Flare. Hook shot from a distance. Ooh. By the skin of his teeth, he just gets away.
Jinky's playing these fights so insanely well, by the way. Like, he's everywhere, and this Innocence Keeper of the Light is enabling him so much. And the fact that Void has to pop his BKB to kill Will-O-Wisp is so detrimental to their team fight. EHOME are playing so unbelievably well this game.
When was the last time you saw 40 minutes in a tier 1 was still standing mid?
It's not very often. Usually there's a Treant Protector in the game, if that happens. But yeah, I mean, this Roche, I cannot understate how important this Aegis is for Sylar. You know, we've talked about how, with the Void and the DP, they need to be killing people in their ult durations, right? Because they have the teamfight advantage. This Aegis means that Void's going to be questioning whether he should be chronoing the Ricky or not, right? Because he has a second life. There's not 2 chronos. And Sylar's going to be looking to hunt here. He's almost level 25 as well.
Death Prophet's actually level 25. Exorcism grants haste. Is what's taken.
Yeah, I think you nearly always take this. But the other thing as well, especially because when you get to this ultra late game scenario, it allows you to drop boots on the DP as well. So that when you pop Exorcism, you basically have 6 slots of like really strong items you can have. And you don't need to keep one for your boots. It's not very often I've seen people take the Exorcism spirits. Oh, she did take the Crypt Swarm cooldown though at level 20. Interesting.
Nullifier for the Death Prophet next. Minotaur Horn and Illusionist Cape for Sylar. Sylar does have that Manta. He'll go into the Illusionist Cape instead of that Minotaur Horn, as he does have the Aegis, so 2 lives available for him. They smoke up, and
they want to play with this Aegis. I'm really surprised RNG aren't playing around like a high ground together here. They're stuck as 4 here, but DP's kind of separate from the rest of the team. I feel like if they were on this high ground here, yeah, they'd have a better chance of taking a fight. They're actually going to smoke up themselves and try and play into this high ground that Innocence is now controlling with this gem.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Chronosphere on it too. They're going to look for Innocence. They've got him dead to rights. He doesn't actually have buyback. The Rolling Thunder comes in. GQ in a lot of trouble to get the kill into the Ember. Now they look over at Clockwork. He's trying to run, but the Nullifier's there. The Lotus Orb is not doing enough. They get the kill on a 3. A perfectly placed fight by Royal Never Give Up.
A sick fight from RNG. That's the first time in, it feels like forever, that they've managed to find the supports first at the start of the fight. And if Xingqiu and Innocence die, yeah, I think the fight's just over.
And 42 minutes into the game, Tier 1 mid is gone.
That fight was so weird though, because like the Dire side were trying to de-ward that cliff, but they didn't put their own ward down. So they didn't see the Void Spirit coming. I mean, even if they did, they wouldn't have had the time to react. But I don't think you can control that high ground there unless you put a ward down yourself. And I don't think they were expecting them to come from the top side either. That was really unexpected.
Tier 1 and the Tier 2 go down.
I don't think they can go for any more though. They don't have Chrono, so they have to be a little bit wary.
There is still this Aegis on Sylar.
Yeah, there is, but you can't force a bad fight just because you have an Aegis, right? And then you just end up dying twice on the Riki, and then you waste it anyway.
Well, I'm not saying fight at this exact moment right now, but when you have all 5 up and you've got everything to go, Chronosphere's on cooldown for another minute and 10.
True, but at the same time, like when it gets to this late game scenario, Xingqiu's still dead for over 20 seconds, right? So by the time you group up and you get to the other side of the map to try and make a play, Chronosphere is almost going to be up again. So when it gets to this late game, the teamfight advantage that RNG have is going to be felt more than it did in the early game. Because of these long death cooldowns. And timers, sorry. What does Keeper the Light have coming out in the courier? There's another gem. Right, okay. I was wondering if he managed to somehow scrape another item out from the middle of nowhere. But again, like there's this 8k advantage, but it's all on supports for EHOME. We have to remember that the cores on RNG are still in a really strong position. Void close 25 as well, and when he gets the backtrack, it'll be a lot harder to kill him off.
Hook shot misses from Faith Beyond. Certainly not what he wants as September moves forward. Assassinate comes in on the Spike Carapace September Nyx. Tricks of the trade. Sylar playing aggressive because he's got this Aegis, but only for another 40 seconds. Exorcism, they jump on the illusion. They're almost lucky they didn't chrono that illusion. They jumped very quickly onto it, popped the exorcism for it.
What a disaster. It's just a farming exorcism anyway. It's fine. It's so that they can't use the end of the Aegis duration. Just pop the exorcism. EHOME are going to be scared to fight now. Aegis is about to run out. You ready? It was all a bait.
Boom. Ooh, hook shot. Comes all the way through. They've got the Assassinate on a Monet. There is the pocket Riki for just a moment. Chronosphere comes in on the Faith Beyond. They've also got the Nullifier on this clock. They get the kill, but Rolling Thunder hits onto the Riki as well as the Impel. They've done a lot of damage. He doesn't have that Aegis anymore, and he needs the Blink Strike away. They've got the Will-O-Wisp down. They get the kill on a Monet. They take out the Faceless Void. He doesn't have buyback. Remnant back from Xingqiu. Sleight of Fist hits on a Flywin. So far, it's a 1-for-1 with buyback coming in from Faith Beyond. And they're looking to set something up. An Assassinate with the lockdown that they have provided by the Xingqiu Ember should be more than enough. They've got the silence. They've slowed him up with the Fusible Blade. The Blink Strike keeps coming forward. Flywin, though, he gets out the Assassinate, hits on a super. They'll take out the Lich. Now he's got buyback on the Faceless Void.
Oh, that was so unfortunate for Sylar, though.
Ooh.
Sylar almost went down in the chrono, but he just about survived. I think he had the cheese. I'm not 100% sure. But the Keeper of the Light couldn't get the E-Blade off onto him because he used Illuminate, and the Nyx carapaced him at the same time. But, you know, Sylar just about managed to survive the fight, and the fact they get Mono, he's going to have to buy back here. And they don't even have chrono up for 90 seconds. Faith Beyond.
Shot all the way on to September. There's the Assassinate with the smoke screen. Poppy Ricky on a Faith Beyond. Oh man, they get the kill on a September now. Flying with a Rolling Thunder, the buyback on Monet, as well as this Nyx of September. Rolling Thunder locking up Faith Beyond. They get the kill on the Clockwork. Keep ball back in the previous fight, so now they're without that clock. Flywind moving forward. Swashbuckle misses. Innocence goes into the trees to try and TP out. And will. So does Sniper and the rest of the team. They disengage well enough to just lose the clock. By the way, nothing to say. He's got a spell prism on this Sniper.
Oh my god. Of all the items you could have got, this is the one you want.
Assassinate is on a 6.8 second cooldown. Stuns for a second and a half.
I can't believe Faith Beyond's not taking this Minotaur horn, by the way, on the Clockwork. I feel like it's far too good to pass up when you don't have a BKB of your own. I like the quickening charm is really good to allow you to fight constantly. Obviously, like it's okay. It reduces the cooldown on a hookshot down to 26.1 seconds. But I feel like a free BKB must be better, right? Like especially when you're playing against this Nyx assassin, like Lich as well. He died to a chain frost in the Radiant base.
Yeah, when you dive in that far, it's
has been killed.
not great.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
Ricky, meanwhile, has that MKB, 4,000 gold saved for him, and oh no, my God, Sniper! Stop this! This is looking like one of those posts on Twitter and Reddit.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Name the champion. He's going Octarine Core.
No, this is like pretty. If you commit to the Ags build and you get Spell Prism, you 100% go Octarine. Like you have to commit fully to the cooldown.
Would you know this is a sniper build though?
Yeah,
based
for
on
sure.
Just the items.
Yeah, yeah. Like, 'cause he has the Necro book, it's a big giveaway, right?
Is it though? There's so many heroes that farm with Necrobook these days.
Nobody builds Necro 1 apart from, like, what? Maybe Zeus as well, actually, it might be, but even then. I feel like Sniper's one.
If he gets his Octarine Core, I'm going to post it on Twitter. We'll see. And Reddit. Going both.
But people on your Twitter are probably going to have seen the game. It doesn't work.
Nobody in chat posts this. I'm taking credit. Steal my ideas.
It's not. It's honestly not that unlikely. Faith Beyond here, kind of breaking smokes a little bit.
Assassinate comes through onto the Death Prophet. Jinkyu. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains doesn't lock Setsu down, but they've got the hook shot. Faith Beyond's in a little bit far. Force Staff actually goes back into the cogs, and now the Remnant forward with the Sleight of Fist. Doing a bit of damage. Remnant's away. BKB's been popped by Setsu. Could blink out. Flywin, though, hit with the battery assault. Monet trying to get out of this one. The Lincoln Sphere is popped. Remnant forward again from Jinkyu. There's the Chronosphere on it, too. Is it going to be enough? They've got themselves the Chain Frost bouncing around. Sylar's in there as well. There's the Will-O-Wisp. They lock down Setsu. They get the kill to the Death Prophet. They'll buy back on Flywin as well as Setsu. They get super away from the rest of the team. There's the Blink Strike and the kill. Gem on the deck. And 3 heroes fall on the side of RNG for Jinkyu.
Yeah, Roche is up here as well. So they're probably just going to head straight into the pit on EHOME, I would imagine.
Give the Axe Clockwork, probably?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, everybody else has eggs except for Coddle.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the Keeper of the Light Axe isn't awful because it's the heal in an Illuminate, right? Which
and
is pretty good in the
and
Chrono.
you're trying to high ground.
But I think the Clockwork one's definitely better. If you can get this double hook shot off onto a BKB like Void or something, would be absolutely massive.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, easy peasy.
Dire are scanning.
They have Dagon 1 on the DP, by the way. Interesting.
Rolling Thunder started again, but right into the hook shot. There's the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, what a sick
The
impale.
impale hits on it too. That's massive. They look over at Sylar. He's juggled and in trouble. But he pops the Manta. Blink Strike goes into the pocket. Ricky on a Faith Beyond. They get the kill into September. Innocence is dead, though. Assassinate flies in, breaks the Lincolns of Monet. Monet with the BKB trying to get the kill into Faith Beyond. He is in a lot of trouble. They'll get the kill as he's in the pocket Ricky form, but 3 heroes already gone on the side of RNG without buyback.
Oh, they had no vision for the Ricky there that whole fight as well. If they did, the Void and the DP probably would have just turned on him, but no, they're not. These 2 cores aren't going to be carrying detection at this point in the game. Void's just picked up a gem, but boy, he has no buyback, so he has to play so carefully. Ricky's going to head back to base here, but then I imagine just go straight back into the Roche pit, and Jinkyu's going to go push out top lane. This Ags on Ember, by the way, is absolutely bonkers. It feels like he's doing so much in these fights by like giving vision for the Assassinate on Sniper, they're getting the damage off with the Remnants as well. Jinkyu having a really good game at the moment. He's almost level 25 as well, with the Remnant restore time.
Monet wants to go Divine Rapier. By the way, nothing to say does have this Assassinate, this Octarine Core, putting Assassinate on a 5-second cooldown. He throws down the Shrapnels, pops the BKB, looks over at Monet. They've got the Assassinate. He's done it for a while, and he's also rooted with the Searing Chains. BKB's already up on Setsu. They pop the Lincolns once again. They've got the Will-O-Wisp down. They get the Kona Super, and now the Remnant's power coming in from Jinkyu. Jinkyu looks over at Monet. The Bash is through on a nothing to say. He's in a lot of trouble and ends up dead.
He's gonna buy back,
He'll buy back. The BKB's been popped by Monet, and now he needs to start to run.
Chains in 3
they'll look
seconds.
over at Setsu. They've got themselves the Assassinate once again. Good Yules, but isn't going to be enough. Monet, he's got Chronosphere available, so if you group up like this, you're in a lot of trouble. There it is. There's the Chronosphere with the Nullifier, but
Nice
they
blinding
don't
light.
have the damage. Assassinate hits on a Setsu. They'll get the Kona, the Death Prophet, dead for 2 minutes once again with no buyback. Jinkyu looking for more, pops the Lincolns, gets the Spirit Vessel on him. There's the Assassinate Sour trying to jump in on him. He's got the Diffusal, slows him up before the well. Can they get the kill? Oh my god.
Are fortified.
If they were able to slow him up and kill him before he could get into his own well. Jesus.
It's so difficult to take the fight now, though, for EHOME. For RNG, oh my god. For RNG, sorry, because they have no DP anymore. Like, there's no buyback, right? So this Pango's going to have to pull off a really big Rolling Thunder here. The lifesaver for them is that EHOME don't push buildings very well. Like, this Ricky is kind of like we talked about, their only real physical damage. So they're just going to take a melee Rex and then head off into the pit. I think possibly take this top tier too, but the Age is definitely more important here. And if they can pick up this Ags on the Clockwork like he talks about, and he does take the Minotaur Horn, by the way. I'm glad Faithbian realised. This magic community is just so important at this point in the game, especially when it's free.
Roshan has fallen to the
I assume he takes the battery assault interval, by the way, at level 25. I don't know if you can still stop the Void from jumping away ever since the talent nerfs. I haven't checked. If it does, I mean, Void's done if he doesn't have a BKB.
Players here.
And he has buyback up in 50 seconds on the Void.
Hookshot all the way through. Assassinate. They've got themselves the Cogs. They'll look over at September. Hookshot once again. That hits onto the Lich. They've got themselves the Cogs once more. They've locked up Monet as well as Super. They get the kill on September. He's dead for 90 seconds without buyback. Monet now moving forward with the Time Walk as well as the Rolling Thunder coming in from Fine. When they'll get the kill on a Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond's going to buy back immediately into this. He needs to get back into the fight, though. He'll go to this outpost over bottom. They take out Jinkyu. He'll buy back as well. Now looking over as the Will-O-Wisp locks in Flywin. They've got some damage to follow this up as Sylar comes back in with the tricks of the trade, and Illuminate gets the kill. It was the blinding light that pushed him back into the Will-O-Wisp. He was on the edge of it. He'll end up dead for 95 seconds. No buyback, so a 24,000 net worth lead here for EHOME. Monet doesn't have Chrono for another 24 seconds. He's also trying to get himself a Divine Rapier. This is going to be at least the second Rax. They are without the Pangolier for 80 seconds and the Nyx for 50.
These Assassinates are insane, though, from the Sniper. Just constantly coming through every 5 seconds. It's absolutely horrible to play against.
Hookshot through. Faith Beyond. He's got overclocking in just 3 seconds time. But you gotta remember, he just bought back. So now they look over at Sylar. Sylar blink strikes out of the fight. They've got themselves the hookshot. They locks up Monet. They've got the Assassinate. They'll get the kill. He buys back. So he buys back. That means he's not going to have the Divine Rapier for a long while as he's down to 1,400 gold. But he does have the Chronosphere, and they do have just a slim margin of a chance. However, they've used the Exorcism already. Exorcism comes in. It's not going to grant them anything. Everybody alive for the side of EHOME. Sylar continuing to work on this top set of racks. Nothing to say, continuing to throw out Assassinates.
And like they've used the Exorcism, but they can't run into them. They can't fight.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Sniper with another Assassinate. You think his name is John Wilkes Booth. They've got the Lincoln's pop. They've got the silence on a Monet. They'll get the kill on a Super. They look over for this Faceless Void. But there's the Chronosphere with the Satanic pop. They've focused their attention onto the Ricky. They've got the Chain Frost bouncing around. They get the kill on a Faith Beyond. And now they'll take out Sylar. Sylar, he's got buyback. But Setsu lifted up into the air with the Assassinate coming in. They'll get the kill on a save. Finishes him off.
He dies to the shrapnel. Oh no, they were all running away. Cool guys don't look at explosions on EHOME. Just all run away and the shrapnel finishes him off. I mean, all of a sudden, like, look at the net worth graph. Look how quickly it's just plummeted into EHOME's direction. Oh boy. And they're still in the game, at least, on RNG. I thought that might be the end there.
Still exists?
Clockwork almost got the cheese off after the Chrono finish, but he got follow-up stunned by the Nyx, I'm pretty sure it was. And I couldn't quite get it off. I think if he'd have got the cheese off there, that fight would have been, probably the end of the game, to be honest. But Really well played by RNG. They keep themselves in, so they are so far behind, but it is 56 minutes into the game, right? Like tier 5 neutral items. Sorry, not tier 5. Tier 5 neutral items are about to spawn at 60 minutes. So, you know, if we could see some big game-changing items come through here, especially for someone like the DP. You know,
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, if you get something like a mirror shield here, it could be like massive as well.
I was just gonna say that RNG are hoping that they don't get the IG situation.
Oh,
Sorry to stumble over you like that. I apologize.
Fine,
I just popped into my head immediately where I'm like, they're just sitting there like, please, anything but Woodland Striders.
Can't wait for the Woodland Striders, boys. This is gonna be great. What about those force boots? Let's go. I want a sear stone on the sniper. That's gonna be the funny one.
Stop.
The cast range.
Oh my god.
He might even keep the spell prism, to be honest, because of the cooldown reduction. But what's he picked up?
Ag's Blessing and a Shadow Blade.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, I really like that actually, because he's standing so far back in the fights, right? So it's like the Pango that has to go in to find him. But if he has Shadow Blade, Pango's like, oh, I have Gem. Yeah, maybe I can find him, but you have to be within distance, right? So it's not easy. And when you get to this late game scenario, picking up these invis items have a lot more effect because like the cores can't afford to carry detection around everywhere. So it is up to the supports to be able to get on top of it.
He's going Silver Edge, Jesus. This is...
I mean, it's only because he wants... There's nothing else he can build now, right? Like, he's going to swap the BKB in for the Aegis anyway. He has the Ags upgrade already.
Divine Rapier there for the Void. And this is coming into the 60-minute mark. EHOME, I almost want to say, should show some sense of urgency, because now that he's got the Divine Rapier as well as the Satanic, and he's going into the Refresh Orb, it's not even about the Refresh Orb, but if he gets a chance to find a tier 5 item, what tier 5 item is going to help him more than the Leveler, though?
I think... Ooh, let's have a look. I mean, Apex is pretty good, right? Stygian Desolator, the -10 armor, -10 armor is pretty good as well. I'm just stumbling over my words. Good stuff. Can never say no to a Woodland Striders. I mean, Pirate Hat's better than the Leveler as well, right? Like, it gives 150 attack speed instead of 60. So, though they do have some opportunities to get some good neutral items for themselves. Like, DP still has Havoc Hammer, which...
Coming down to the high ground.
Things.
Hook shot through on the fly. When he gets silenced, 4-step back onto the high ground. That's fine. Assassinate comes back and hits nothing to say, but now they've got the hook shot coming through as he has used overclocking. Faithgon taking a lot of damage. The Will-O-Wisp is down. He'll eat the cheese, but the Rolling Thunder continuing to bounce him up as well as the Impale coming in. They've locked down a lot of these heroes. Can they get the kill on any of them? They finally take out Fine with the Remnant coming forward from Jinkyu. They'll take out Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond doesn't have buyback, but Pangoreer does. They get September. They'll take out a second hill buyback as well. So the buyback's lining up for the side of RNG. They've got to fight this 4v5 once again. They've got the Euros out onto the Death Prophet. Tricks of the trade with that lowered cooldown thanks to the talent.
Oh my god,
Setsu doing a lot of damage. They get the gun of Setsu. Setsu doesn't have buyback, neither does Super. Ooh, time walk forward. Monet's just looking for a target to get the Chronosphere off of.
Oh, the
heck! He's got this Divine Rapier, but he still can't find anybody. Time walk back into the base. Tricks of the trade once again on top of September. They've got the Assassinate hitting on a Flywind. That'll stun him, but he's on the high ground, so 3 heroes alive for the side of RNG. Lich, meanwhile, doesn't have buyback for 3.5 minutes. Death Prophet has it available, didn't save for it.
Yeah, they still have Chrono up though on the Radiant side, you have to remember. You know, that big teamfight skill still up as an option. I don't know if you saw Jinky pop Refresher in the middle of that fight, and he literally jumped the whole... He went like back and forth. It looked like he was doing laps of a swimming pool about 10 times over. I'm just going to try and push up here into the high ground with the illusions.
Monet, Searing Chains now 4-step forward on nothing to say. He'll pop the BKB. Oh, look at that damage. Oh,
they have the E-blades.
Now they look over, they've got the silence as well as the tricks of the trade right onto this sniper, but they get the kill on nothing to say. He's taken out immediately in just a couple of shots. Now he looks over at Jinkyu. They've got themselves the Swashbuckle. Assassinate comes through as well as the Hex out on a Monet. Time walk back, stays alive. Buyback was used by nothing to say. This is definitely possible for Royal Never Go Up, that they just don't have the Chronosphere anymore. They need this Refresher Orb.
I think Innocence might have misclicked the E-blade there onto the Void instead of the Sniper. Unless the BKB was still going from the Sniper or something and I didn't realise, but... Yeah, I mean, this Sniper buyback is pretty good though for RNG, honestly, because it gives them a pseudo win condition now. Where if they kill the sniper and he has no buyback, like that's a lot of effectiveness from EHOME's team fight gone.
These tier 5 items are available. They just don't have the opportunity to go get them. Neither team has actually picked up a tier 5 item. They've got the assassinate. Now the hookshot doesn't land, but they've got themselves the root. They'll get the kill in a Monet. He's gone for 2 minutes, and this is looking like the game. But on the backline, Setsu doing work with the BKB. He'll get the kill on Innocence. He's looking for nothing to say. Won't find it. The Wolves was down. Flying with the Rolling Thunder, taking a lot of damage from the tricks of the trade. They've got themselves Jinkyu locked up with this sinister gaze.
Magic Lamp.
He's able to remnant away. Rolling Thunder no longer happening. Swashbuckle hits. They've got the stun out on a Faith Beyond. Sylar gets the kill on a super. They'll take out the Lich. They'll look over at the Pangolier. They'll also take him out. Now they get themselves the win, as GG is called by Royal Never Give Up. EHOME eliminate RNG, and they will go on to face the loser of LGD Vici.
Yeah, this was a crazy, crazy game. I'm really glad we finally got to see an actual series between these two teams, because it felt like in the upper bracket when they came against each other before, I was so disappointed. I can't even begin to tell you. But this was so back and forth. The way EHOME played in game 2 and 3 in comparison to game 1 is they stepped up their game massively. And I really liked how they played this game. Nothing to say on this sniper had, you know, this amazing meme build. It's not even a meme build. Like, it actually does so much work with the constant assassinate stuns coming through. Like, you effectively have, I think it's like 33% stun up time with that skill when you have like Spell Prism and Doctrine Core at the end, right?
Jesus.
And I think Innocence played amazingly well this game on the Keeper of the Light as well. You know, the amount of farm that he got meant that the huge amount of utility items coming through from him